You thought this was just attraction, but something about this connection broke the rules completely. And now, it's going somewhere neither of you expected. Stay with me, because what's unfolding here isn't simple, and the next phase is already starting. At the beginning, there was stability. You were grounded, focused on your own life, your own growth, your own comfort. You knew your value, even if you didn't always show it. But then everything slowed down. A pause, a shift in perspective. You started seeing things differently, questioning what you thought you wanted, what you thought was right. And right in that moment of stillness, something completed. A cycle closed. But instead of clarity, you were left in a strange in-between, not moving forward, not fully letting go. You tried to stay logical, to make sense of everything, but something painful cut through that logic. A realization, a truth that hit deeper than expected. And instead of collapsing, you stood your ground, quietly, firmly. You didn't chase, you didn't beg, you held your position. But inside, something was building, because this wasn't just about you. There was a calling here, something pulling two people together despite differences, despite timing, despite circumstances, and at the same time, a mental trap. Overthinking, silence, holding back words that should have been said. And then, balance stepped in, not gently. I'm talking about real alignment forcing itself into this situation. Now listen carefully, because while you were processing everything internally, someone else was watching you closely. And this is where things shift completely. This person sees you as powerful, attractive, magnetic in a way that doesn't depend on age, status, or expectations. You stand in your energy without trying, and that alone draws them in. Emotionally, they feel deeply towards you, but they don't always show it in obvious ways. And at the same time, they see your independence, your ability to stand alone, to not need anyone, to not chase. That combination, it pulls them in even stronger. But here's where it gets intense. Because distance was involved, waiting, watching, wondering what could happen, what might happen, what should happen. And right in the middle of that, a connection formed that neither of you could ignore. Equal, mutual, real, and then another layer enters. This isn't just one type of attraction. This is passion, desire, emotional pull, and physical magnetism all at once. And it's overwhelming. There's a moment here where everything opens: joy, confidence, energy expanding. And right after that, manifestation. Someone deciding they want this. Not thinking about it anymore, not hesitating, wanting it. But at the same time, there's a shadow, a fear of loss, a fear of not having enough, a fear that this could disappear as quickly as it appeared. And that fear creates hesitation, even when everything else is aligned. And yet, the outcome energy is undeniable, because this has the potential for something real, something emotionally fulfilling, something that actually feels like home. Now here's where things accelerate. Movement, fast, forward, no more waiting, no more silence. This connection pushes forward whether anyone is ready or not. There's nurturing energy here, growth, something being built, but at the same time, pressure, responsibilities, emotional weight, someone carrying more than they should, trying to keep everything together while this connection intensifies. And then comes the opportunity, a real one, something stable, something tangible, something that could actually turn into something lasting. But before that happens, pause again, rest, reflection. Because this connection needs space to stabilize before it fully locks in. And then, celebration, union energy. A moment where things feel right, aligned, almost effortless. And right next to that, someone solid enters stronger, grounded, secure, protective. This is someone who doesn't just feel. They provide, they build, they create stability. But here's the twist. Because even with all of this, there's still hesitation. Someone pulling back emotionally. Someone not fully accepting what's being offered. Someone questioning instead of receiving. And even deeper, there's hidden behavior. Someone not being fully transparent. Watching, thinking, planning, but not revealing everything. And then suddenly, a spark. Communication. Movement again. And this time, it's not subtle. Because what was hidden starts surfacing. Social energy increases, people talking, observing. Not everything staying private anymore. And behind all of this, intuition is screaming. Something unexpected is about to break open. And it does. Sudden. Unavoidable. A shift that changes everything. Passion rises. Intensity returns. But this time, it's not naive. It's experienced. It's been through pressure, through resistance, through tests. And now, justice. Everything balancing, decisions being made. No more confusion. A choice is coming, and that choice leads to movement again. But this time, it leads to recognition. Success. Public acknowledgement. Something becoming visible, undeniable. Hope returns, clarity returns. But at the same time, someone still tries to hold back. Control. Not fully release everything they feel. And this is where the final phase begins. Because someone walks away from what no longer serves them. Leaves behind confusion, emotional uncertainty, instability, and steps toward balance. Equal give and take. Energy finally flowing the way it should have from the beginning. And then speed, messages, action. Things happening so fast you barely have time to process. A wish fulfilled. Something you didn't even fully allow yourself to expect. But right after that, conflict, competition, people reacting. Because not everyone is happy about this. Not everyone accepts this connection. And some will try to interfere, confuse, or distract. But it won't change the outcome. Because even through the chaos, the truth remains. This connection was never about age, never about timing, never about logic. It was about alignment. And now that alignment is activating fully, nothing can keep it hidden anymore. So when things start moving fast, when communication suddenly increases, when emotions rise and decisions are forced, don't question it. Because what happens next is exactly what was always meant to happen.